What's up, guys? So I decided I would start another trailer build. This one's going to be a lot simpler and much smaller. I decided I wanted to make this as cheap as possible, just reusing old parts and whatnot. So the only part that I bought, even though I didn't buy it for this trailer, was this aluminum angle, which I bought for my last trailer that I built. As you can see, these pieces are fairly short. I've already cut them to length. These are 136 millimeters. That will be the width of the trailer. And I believe I have these at 232 millimeters for the length of the trailer. So it's quite a bit smaller than the last trailer I did. And I'm going to use these fairly big wheels for a trailer. I think they should do pretty good. So for an axle, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I just had no idea. I didn't have any spare axles, but I still didn't want to buy anything. So I'd come up with an alright solution, I guess. Nothing super great, but let's just show you right now. So I've taken a spare part from my old WL Toys 428, part of the steering hub here. Just kept the two bearings in it. And what I did is I just mounted it on this rail like this. Just got two screws holding it in right now. The main screw into the hub, and then that little support arm has a screw too. So the faces on this isn't 100% straight. Not sure if I can show it on camera, but if you can see, it's leaning in this way a bit and out this way a bit, only a degree or two, so it's really not that much. And I think there's enough flex in the plastic that once you're down on the ground, it won't really make a difference. So you can shave these down to get them to fit perfectly square. And I've shaved mine just a little bit to help it, but I'm not going to bother trying to get that last 1 or 2 degrees. I think it shouldn't be a problem. So it's very simply mounted to this, just with those two screws like I said. And if I find I need a bit more strength, I can always run a strap from here down to here on both sides, and that should give it much more strength. I will be putting the wheel right in the center, so right around there. So this will be a 2-part series, I think. But let's just get started getting the frame together. So I've obviously already cut them to size. So when I'm going to drill holes to try and get everything nice and square, it is nice to have a square like this. You can just lay out what you want to do, and just push them into the corners, and you can get nice square edges. So when you drill through, you know the hole should line up really nicely to give you a nice good square edge or corner. All right, I'm just going to start drilling, and I'll be back in a second. All right, so I got all the holes cut out on the ends here. I did make one mistake and cut out one hole that shouldn't have been there because I had it set up wrong. But that's okay, it won't actually interfere with what I'm making. I also cut out the main 2 mounting holes in the middle, as you can see here. I figured it would be best just to get those cut out now so I have the wheel mounts ready to get started on. Let's just go ahead and put this frame together and just see what it looks like. I'll be back once I get it screwed together with 4 screws. I am in the end going to use rivets to put it together, but there's no point doing that now as I will be taking it apart again. Alright, back in a second. Alright, so I got the frame put together here with just a screw in each corner. Let's see how square it is. Hopefully it's fairly square. Come on. That lines up fairly good. Let's check the other corner. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. That lines up pretty good too. There is a very tiny gap on this, but it's so tiny I don't think it's important. You can barely see through it. Can't even really get a good angle on the camera. But overall that looks to be pretty damn square, so I like that. So let's just put the wheels on so we can see what it's going to look like. The wheels are a little more simple to put on at the moment since I don't have the whole mounting thing sorted yet. Not too much to do on that though. I just put one screw through here like this, and we can mount it on. Alright, so as you can see right now, the wheels can be turned in and out because we haven't drilled that hole for this piece. So that's one thing that does need a bit of time to get set up just right. Get these wheels just as straight as possible. And then get those 2 holes drilled out. And then that'll lock the wheels into place that they need to be. And we got a pretty good ground clearance, as you can see underneath there. Yeah, there's the frame and the wheels so far. So I think that's looking good. So what do we do next here? Let's figure that out. So I've taken the wheels off, and I think it's time to start working on the tongue. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this, so I'm going to have to do a little experimenting. I'll just do that off camera, and I will be back when I have a solution. Alright, so I think I found a decent solution for the tongue of the trailer. So I've got these 2 pieces of aluminum that I cut out a chunk, and I just bent it slightly in here. Like this. So I think I can just have them on. I'm going to have to cut out a notch 2 places on here. But I think I'll just be able to have these sit against like that, and they should match up. Give me a nice little tongue for the trailer. I'm going to go work on that, and I will be back when I get that done. So I got most of the tongue done. I'd say about 90% of it. It was a bit of a struggle though, as I couldn't find the protractor when I was making it, so I wasn't sure of the angles, and that made me take quite a bit more time to get it fairly good. It looks a bit off when you can see these 2 parts down here. However, when you do cover it up like the deck will on the frame here, it does look quite a bit better. So that was a bit of a struggle, but I've got that done now. I know I'm not going to have any suspension with the tires mounted how I have them mounted here, other than the little bit of suspension that's in the tire themselves. But I figure that's okay for such a small trailer like this. I don't think it will really need anything else. The one last thing I need to do for the tongue is put a little extension piece out here for the trailer coupler part to attach onto. But that shouldn't be too big of a deal. So I think that'll be it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, make sure to leave them below. If you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and click the bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.